All right, let's dive into one of the most meticulous, precise, and honestly, often misunderstood personality types out there. We're talking about what Steven Sisler calls the conscientious or C style. You're going to want to stick around for this one.
You ever find yourself in a conversation, you casually say something like, "Oh, it's about 50 degrees out," and someone immediately jumps in with, "Actually, it's 61." Or, maybe you have that one coworker whose desk is just perfect, and they absolutely have to read every single word of the instructions before they even think about starting. If any of that is ringing a bell, well, you've probably met a C-style personality. So, what are we really talking about when we say C style? The C stands for compliant or conscientious. These are the thinkers, the analysts, the perfectionists of the world. They live for accuracy, for data, for procedures. But, to really get what makes them tick, we have to look way beyond just their love for rules. Okay, so first things first, let's cover the basics. What are the common behaviors you're likely to see on the surface? These are the traits that you can spot from a mile away. C styles are all about precision. Everything has to be exact. This means they're usually incredibly neat and organized, but also super cautious. They absolutely hate risk. Now, the upside to this is that they are ridiculously dependable and loyal. If a C style commits to something, you can bet it's going to get done, and it's going to get done right. The catch? Well, they operate at a very deliberate pace. We often joke that they have two speeds, slow and slower. But here's where it gets really interesting. Why do they act this way? I promise you, it's not just because they like having a tidy desk. To truly understand the C style, we have to dig down to the one single emotion that drives their entire worldview. And there it is, fear. The single most important driver for the conscientious style is fear. But listen, this isn't the kind of fear you get from seeing a bear in the woods. No, this is something much deeper, much more constant, and it shapes every single decision they make. Steven Sisler's metaphor of a minefield is just perfect for this. Imagine walking through life feeling like you're in a minefield. For the C style, the world is filled with hidden dangers, mistakes, errors, inaccuracies that could go off at any second. So that fear isn't panic. It's a constant, heightened awareness that helps them navigate this dangerous world safely. This underlying fear creates a really specific worldview. C-styles tend to see the world as a fundamentally tragic, even cruel place. They believe that good things are rare, they're limited, and so whatever good exists must be fiercely protected from all the hostile forces out there. And that's why they're so preoccupied with what could go wrong. It's why they avoid risk and why they cling to procedures and data like a lifeline. It's their map for getting through the minefield. So, think about it. If you believe you're navigating a dangerous world that's packed with errors, what are you going to rely on? You're not going to trust your feelings. No way. You're going to trust cold, hard facts. And this right here is what leads to their famously task-oriented nature. In a world that feels like a minefield, emotions are just messy. They're unreliable data that can get you in trouble. So the C style pushes them aside. Their focus is on the task, the logic, the process. So when they offer you criticism, in their mind, it's not personal. It's just about correcting the data to prevent one of those mines from going off. But of course, for more people-oriented styles, that can feel really cold, really critical, maybe even a little heartless. And to show you just how deep this task focus can run, Sisler shares this truly unforgettable story from his time working in a factory. It is an extreme example, but man, does it perfectly illustrate this mindset. Just let that sink in for a second. Imagine hearing that. Sisler had just smashed himself in the face with a hammer. Blood is literally pouring everywhere. And his C-style coworker's response isn't, "Oh my gosh, are you okay?" It's that. A shocking and what seems like a totally callous statement that just cuts right to the core of their programming. Okay, but here's the crucial part to understand. From the coworker's perspective, the immediate emergency wasn't the injury. The emergency was the disruption to the task. The blood was getting in the way of the process. In their logical, fear-driven world, getting the job done correctly is the way you maintain safety and order. It's not about malice. It's an extreme, laser-like focus on the objective problem at hand. Now, what happens when you take this incredibly intense, task-focused C style and you combine it with a high level of dominance, or the D style? Well, you get something Sisler playfully calls Attila the Hun. This is the enforcer, the machine,
A high D, high C blend is an absolute force of nature. They are driven to get things done, and to get them done right. This combination creates a person who is incredibly direct, relentlessly critical of any mistake, and deeply impatient with anything that strikes them as illogical or inefficient. The dynamic here is all about tasks over people. You see it right here. The head for taking action and the hand for getting it done right are cranked all the way up. But the mouth for influencing people and the heart for connecting with them, they're low. They're just not a priority. The whole system is geared for one thing: execution, not connection.
And yeah, that's pretty much the result. For someone who is more people-oriented, dealing with an Attila style can feel exactly like hugging a cactus. They aren't trying to be hurtful, but that singular focus on the task makes them prickly and kind of hard to get close to.
So, after all of this, it might be really easy to just write off the C style as being cold and critical and pessimistic. But trust me, that would be a huge mistake, because their unique, fear-driven worldview gives them some incredible and absolutely essential strengths. Let's just flip the script on those traits we talked about. Their slowness isn't a bug, it's a feature. It's what makes them thorough and safe. Being critical, that's actually a deep commitment to accuracy. What looks pessimistic is really just them being realistically prepared for that minefield. And their so-called cold demeanor, that's what allows them to be objective and data-driven when the rest of us might be clouded by emotion. When it comes down to it, C styles are our indispensable thinkers. They are the people we absolutely need for quality control, for deep research, for engineering, for any job where getting it right isn't just nice, it's critical. They are the tacticians who see the mines that the rest of us miss, and they know how to guide us through them. Which kind of leaves us with a final thought to chew on. Is their view of the world as a cruel and dangerous place just plain pessimistic? Or is there heightened awareness of everything that can possibly go wrong, exactly the kind of realism we need to protect the good things we have and navigate an uncertain future? Something to think about.